This is episode 628, and today we're going to be discussing creating new habits. Now, habits are funny things as they can sneak up on us when they're disempowering or also known as bad habits, and they're pretty challenging to create. So one of the things we're going to talk, well, not one, we're going to be talking about the creating of new habits, which also may entail releasing bad habits today. And having a routine is useful in carrying out tasks around the house, around work, around other things. So, routines are based around habits. And so from the time you wake up, you should know what task comes first. For example, exercise, breakfast, kids to school, cleaning up. It's important to know the order of things. What's the first domino that's going to fall? What's the first trigger to help you get involved with the habits and the rituals that you have planned for the day? So, creating and sticking to new habits requires a certain amount of discipline because we're we're kind of trying to put this new habit into an existing routine, and that can be challenging by trying to uh, shoehorn this information or this process, this behavior into something already existing. Usually, when we try to do that, you come up with the excuses, "I can't find any time." And so we want to make sure that we we don't find time, we make time, we create time, as well as understanding what's important and what's not. And by doing this, it'll help you maintain and master habits much easier, right? We want to be mastery over our lives, and that's in all areas of our lives: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationship, all those. We want to be master over all those areas, and habits and routines can help us considerably. So I'm going to outline below, or, if you're listening, what we're going to do is talk about some tips that will help you develop and stick to new habits. Some of these may work with removing old habits, but generally what we want to do is just talk about the new habits. And then later on, in another podcast, we can discuss about how removing old habits can happen. So the first thing is you want to make a 30-day commitment. Like, for the next 30 days, I am going to do X. And that's it. Not X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but just one thing first and build up the momentum. So you want to make a 30-day commitment to yourself. That can either be written or make it verbal with somebody else, do a pinky promise with somebody, whatever it is, but you want to make a 30-day commitment. Then you want to practice that new habit daily. Again, it's a practice, not a perfect. So let's just say the practice was drinking 8 ounces of water first thing when you wake up. You go, okay, for the next 30 days, I'm going to drink 8 ounces. And so then you wake up and you go, this is not what I have to do, but I'm going to practice drinking 8 ounces. And it's a different mindset when we come into it with a practice. And start simple, right? This is what I said, 8 ounces. If you wanted to start to improve your 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 physical well-being, maybe if you wake up and just have coffee, you don't have water at all or water till the end of the day, just start simple. 8 ounces of water. Put a glass out in the on the counter or next to you in bed. 8 ounces. When you wake up, that's the first thing you do. It's so simple, but you made the commitment, you're creating a practice, and you're starting simple. We want to think about what's the minimum we can do to start this habit, and have a reminder. And again, using the water, the reminder would be having the glass of water right next to you in bed or on the kitchen counter. So that's the first thing you see, and it says, oh, that's right, I got to practice drinking water first thing in the morning. Boom, you go with it. And then be consistent, right? This goes hand in glove with the 30-day commitment, the practice daily, and be consistent. And so when we want to be consistent, we want to look at probably a bigger picture. So the practice is drinking 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Well, being consistent is, if you miss it, then have 8 ounces of water for lunch, for dinner, but have it throughout the day. But, be flexible with it. But we want to practice it in the morning and be consistent with it, at least 8 ounces of water per day. So we can take our practice and kind of expand it a little bit. Utilize a coach to help you, right? Utilize a coach to hold you accountable, to set the goals, understand the behavior and the motivation behind it, understand why you're creating new habit. Coaches can be so great in creating new habits because usually the new habit is tied to a goal, and the coach can help you clarify the goal and then determine the steps to take that to make that happen. Have a ritual. So rituals are mindful, routines are mindless. So we want to have that ritual of, when we wake up, the alarm clock goes off, we drink the water. So when something happens, this happens. When this, then this. So when I wake up and walk into the kitchen, then I drink my water. That's a ritual. It's mindful. You are mindfully creating the neurosynapses in your brain to go, when this happens, then I do this, and replace old habits. So, for instance, let's say that you woke up first thing in the morning and you had a cup of coffee. Well, we want to replace that old habit, that time frame, with the new habit. So, one thing could be that you put a glass of water in front of the coffee machine. So the first thing you do, you wake up and you just, because you're mindless, we all are, you start to make the coffee and you go, oh, here's my water. Let me drink my water first before I make the coffee. So that would be replacing that old habit of drinking coffee first with drinking water first. And acceptance. Someday, at night, if you forget to put the glass of water out and you have your coffee and you go, oh, I forgot to have my coffee in the morning. That's okay. Don't get frustrated. Just remember to have it sometime during the day, right? Acceptance. Like, hey, it's called a practice, not a perfect. So when we can think about it and be kind with ourselves, right? And we also want to hold ourselves accountable and go, I'll never miss 2 days. So, if you miss it on a Monday and a Tuesday, you do everything in your power. You put a glass of water next to your bed, you put a glass of water on the kitchen counter, you put a glass of water in front of the coffee. So you make sure you do that. But accept that times, this replacing of the habit again, it's a practice. So with practices, we do have some food pause once in a while, and that's okay. Change your thoughts. When you wake up first thing in the morning, your thoughts may be, oh, I need some coffee. Well, we want to start to say, no, my muscles now feel like beef jerky, so I must drink some water to get my muscles moving so I won't feel so stiff and tight. So we want to change the thoughts around the old habit and the new habit. We want to eliminate that temptation. So getting back with coffee, perhaps you don't make the coffee ahead of time. You don't put the grinds in the night before, you don't put the timer on, you don't do any of that. And and even better yet, if you want to kick coffee or kick that habit for only the weekend, then you don't have any coffee in the house. You put the coffee maker away because when you see it, the temptation is going to be there. So depending on the motivation behind it, and again, this is just an example I'm making up, but if you wanted to just have coffee on the weekends, you would then put the coffee maker away and you would not have any coffee in the house. So you would wake up, have your water, and then move on. Have a mentor. Well, with coffee, it might be hard to have a mentor, maybe your significant other. With other behavioral changes, it's often good to have a mentor who can basically say, hey, I was there, I know what you're going through. A coach will help you with, hey, here's where I want to go, let's get there. And the coach may have experienced what you have or not, but a mentor will have experienced it and can help you through the pitfalls of that. Experiment, be playful with it. Maybe 8 ounces seems like a lot. So put 2 4 ounces, one 4 ounce glass of water next to you in the bed, another 4 ounces in the kitchen. So you get up, you drink your 4 ounces and then go in the kitchen, drink your other 4 ounces. And just if you're wondering why I'm fixating on water, many, many, many of my clients don't drink enough water. And so this is some of the things that I've gone through with them, but it can be applied anywhere, right? We want to be just playful with having fun with creating the new habit, visualizing yourself, right? So again, this may not seem like a big deal when we want to drink water, but consider, so as you're going to sleep, visualize yourself waking up, having that nice glass of water and feeling great. We want to program our unconscious mind before we go to sleep on the habit that we want to bring about on the next day. Journaling. Well, we want to review about what went right, what didn't go right, and what needs improvement around that particular new habit, how we felt about it. I mean, the journaling can be long or short, it's up to you, but getting our thoughts down on paper about what's working, what didn't, and what needs improvement can really help in fine tuning that habit and ritual. Understand the benefits. When you think about waking up in the morning and all your muscles are like beef jerky and you can't move and you're stiff and tight, and you go, man, if I have some water, and coffee is a diuretic, so you're even going to dehydrate more, then you understand the benefits of drinking water, how it will help hydrate your muscles. And this can be applied to any habit. Again, I'm just using the water because it's easy to do. Future pain. So consider, if you don't drink the water and you continue on this path, how is your body going to respond 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years down the road when it doesn't get enough hydration? What possibly could happen to your body, your organs, your joints, your muscles? Consider what that future pain is going to be like. And then you want to do it for you. You don't want to do it for anybody else. Even though I may be using water now, you don't want to do it for me. You don't want to do it for your significant other. This new habit has to come from you, not a doctor, not a significant other, not a friend. It has to come from you. And when it comes from you, you own it, so you will be able to stick with it. And keep in mind that creating and sticking to new habits requires a certain amount of discipline. We have to have that mental strength, the discipline, the grit, and we want to exercise that regularly. And this will help you maintain and master the habits much easier. If you'd like to see the show notes on this podcast, you can go over to warriormindcoach.com. While you're there, you can find some other podcasts, some other blog posts, and information on how to contact me. Since you'll be on the internet, you can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.